Hello, YouTube. Commando Ando here. Back with Sakura Spirits. Hopefully, I figured out a solution for this audio problem that I've been having. And without further ado, here we go. In the meanwhile, within the village. Dot, dot, dot. The two guards who had just returned from a patrol had found their village in an uproar. Chaos reigned supreme as villagers fled screaming about some monster that had arrived at the market plaza. And obviously, the two of them armed with their weapons rushed in to deal with the threat. Hello, Penny Lady? Another attack already? First those crafty kitsune crooks sneak in twice, and now this! Hikage, report! What is it this time? Aw man, I kinda wish I could do some female voices without sounding ridiculously annoying. Several shop owners all report seeing the same girl enter their shops. Another girl, Take food and eat it without paying, then seem to turn see-through. And then melt away. She was reported nearby, but One girl causing so much havoc in my town. Useless guardsmen. Hikage, come with me. We will deal with this one girl ourselves. I don't know if I can. What do you mean? Oh, a spirit, right. Narumi. I need you to ensure that no one gets near. I'm trusting you with this. To the relief of Narumi, the katana-wielding girl stepped forwards into the shop, which had a crowd of people gathered around it. Devious monster! Show yourself to me this instant! Surrender yourself and I might let you go free. However, the moment she tried to enter the building, a large pink mass surged outwards, knocking her back into the grass. Mio! At Mio's shout, shadow stirred from under a nearby building, and upon closer inspection, the girl seemed to be occupied drowning several bottles of sake before she dropped them and turned to look at the source that started her. When she moved into the light, it became revealed she was in fact not a villager, but a slime girl. Oh. Okay. Okay. Slime girl. That tasty drink got spilled because you shouted. Oh, I'm a sad girl. What the? Ahem. You are not welcome here, spirit. You have caused chaos, and that tasty drink, as you say, is not yours. You are a thief and an interloper. I leave immediately. I am not a thief. Besides, what's an interloper? You're trying to act like a smarty pants just because I don't know those fancy words. Typical. It means you do not belong here. This is not your place. Liar. The forest is my home, and this place is part of the forest. And therefore I am not a thief, for everything in the forest belongs to me and my sisters, including you. What do you mean? Yeah, what does that mean? Don't try anything funny, spirit. I have fought against your kind before, and I still stand strong here today. Hikage, evacuate the citizens. Seems the human girl wants to play. Do not belittle my defense of this village. Ha. Ooh, sword. The woman lunged forwards with her katana drawn and slashed through the spirit's body. However, the slice that appeared sealed up almost as quickly, rendering the attack completely ineffective. Haha, that tickles. Slime body. I'm not sure how I feel about that. With the sword stuck inside the slime girl's body, the spirit quickly lashed forward, spraying several jets of slimy substance against Mio, who soon found that the slime that came into contact with her clothes started to melt. Oh. Let's see how confident you are without your sword and clothes. Please do show. Humming the last part with a childish playfulness, the slime girl pushed the swordsman down onto the grass. The slime that had been splattered on her starting to harden and stick her against the ground. Oh. I'm not sure how I feel about it, really. Ah, what the? Let me go, cheater, devious fiend! Hey, you're the silly one who tried to use a sword against me. Don't you know girls like me can easily bounce off such things? Besides, this way I might be able to continue eating in peace. Now I'll be a good girl and be stuck there while I grab more yummies. Never. I will not rest until you are vanquished. Damn you. It's useless. Once my slime hardens, a human like you won't be able to just break out of it, especially one who is powerless without her sharp stick. I assure you, I am more than just a monkey with a sharp stick. Insert dirty joke. You will never break my stamina. You will not make me silent. Miyu strained at the solid mass, clenching her fists as best she could to try and get herself free. The slime cracked here and there, but nothing that would indicate that it was ready to yield. Yes, you're stuck, monkey, but you are kind of loud. Gives me a headache. Playfully tapping her forward, the slime girl giggled at Mio's desperate attempts to break free. Just answer me this. Why are you spirits targeting us? You could go anywhere. You could spend your days hidden deep within your forest, and yet you constantly attack us, constantly throw our lives around like they were nothing. But the forest is boring. There isn't anyone around to play with aside from my sisters, and you humans are such a curious bunch. Albeit it's no fun that you all raise your swords, torches, and pitchforks anytime we visit. It is even less fun having to rebuild our homes every time you visit. It is less fun having our lives ruined every time you are bored and wish to play. We are not toys, you monster. We are humans, proud, wise, strong beings with souls and minds. We will not stand idly by as you terrorize us forever. I don't know about the proud and strong part, but you do realize that if it wasn't for my slime, you'd be giving the villagers a show they wouldn't soon forget. That's not... You're the one who... My clothes are... That's not important right now. If it wasn't for your goo, I would still have my clothes on. Fiend. Monster. Bratty little... thing. Oh, you'd rather have me remove my slime? But then again, you're kind of annoying me with your nagging. Maybe I need to punish you a little. This game's a visual novel, right? Not like some kind of porn. Anyways, the slime girl smiled mischievously at Mio, causing the slime that covered the girl to push more strongly against her body, most painfully. Nothing compared to what this village has had to endure. I only came by to get some yummies. You're the ones who made a show out of it. You took from many shops without paying for it. Actually, maybe I should wrap you in a cocoon and drag you back to my home. Then I won't have to visit the village to play with someone anymore. If that is what it would take, I would do anything to protect this village and the people inside it. If you can promise me that you will not return to the village, then you aren't exactly in the right position to make demands. Stop! You can't go in there. There they are, Mayako-chan. Go! Use your magic! Right. The sound of rushed footsteps came from a crowd outside when suddenly the slime girl felt her body growing warmer than normal. Small flame sparks seemingly resonating around her body, causing her body to slowly melt. At the same time, from amidst the crowd, 3 figures appeared to obstruct the slime girl from her prey. 2 kitsune, one of them apparently muttering an incantation of sorts, while the other was holding some sort of ritualistic staff. Trailing behind them slightly was the naginata wielding guard, who was being accompanied by a guy. Hey, it's the Takahiro. Please, Narumi-san. We are trying to help. I don't want to have to stop you. If you think you can save Mio, then okay, just know that if any family business goes down, I will chop your head off. Right. I hope the girls know what they're doing. Sakura! What are you doing here? You! Kitsune! Alright, I've forgotten what voices I've given these people. Oh well. Not that I had much. While the slime girl was being distracted by the kitsune, I ran over to Mio's side, using all the strength of my arms to tug at the slime that covered her body. However, the only thing I seemed to do was tear slightly at it, and it would take a bit before I could free her. They are here to help, so you use your energy for something useful, like tearing this damned slime rather than yelling at the top of your lungs. Two typos in one sentence. Ah, Machiko, have you come to play with them also? Ah, nose itch, why? Please, tell your sister to stop her spell, it's rather tingly. Maiko, keep up the good work. No, Sakura, I have not come to play. You are a fool, a bubble-brained moron. Why are you harassing the villagers? If you wanted food, you know you should come to the mansion. Meanie Machiko, you can't tell me what to do, not to mention the food from the village is tastier than the fruit at your place. Besides, I just wanted to play with them after I had some yummies. But then they started screaming and this monkey girl with her sharp stick tried to scare me away. I will not stand for these insults. Just you wait until I am free. One-sama, the spell is almost done. If I keep going on, it might just a little more chibikos. Sakura, I do not wish this to happen. You know what will occur if Maiko's spell is allowed to continue to work. You might get stuck in your midget form for a long time, and I am certain you do not want that. Leave this village, please. You're going to melt me? That's unfair. My sisters won't be happy to hear Machiko and Maiko sided with the silly humans against me when all I was doing was playing with them. I'll be back. And with those words, the slime girl seemingly started to melt into a pool of water that moved out of the shop and soon disappeared from sight. After the slime girl had disappeared from the village, I succeeded in tearing off the slime that covered Mio. However, with the slime seemingly shattered into pieces, Mio was found to have lost any form of cover, causing me to quickly raise a hand to cover my eyes. Ah, lucky guy. Dead. Don't you dare look at me. In a hurry, the girl rushed away, most likely to find a change of clothes. With the slime girl gone, the villagers turned towards the kitsune with confused gazes. The tension in the air was thick, so thick it was almost moldable, as they seemed uncertain what to expect, when finally a familiar figure emerged from within the crowd. Yep. It's what Brock will look like 50 years later. It's a pleasure to see you again, Takahiro-kun. Even if the circumstances surrounding this meeting are rather odd. What are you saying, Elder? That man is clearly in cahoots with the spirits. Wait a moment. Those girls just want to help. One-sama, my head hurts. It's okay, sweetie. I'm here. Just hold tightly on to me. I'll protect you, and so will Takani. It's a trap! General Akbar. Silence! How dare you act with such hostility toward those that just saved your homes? The crowd seemed rather startled by the firmness in the old man's voice, but soon obeyed, some of them feeling rather ashamed all of a sudden. It is clear you and your companions have not come here with ill intentions, Takahiro-kun, but you must forgive the village of its nervousness and hostility. As you have most likely noticed already, contact between the spirits and humans has rather been problematic at best. I can understand their concern, but will you at least hear me out? Very well. If that is what you desire, then it will be the least we can do for those who have helped to save this village upon this day. However, let us wait for the chief of the guard to return. I believe it will be important for her to hear what you have to say. I'll go find her, Oji-san. Feeling grateful that the elder had granted me the chance to carry out my plan, we waited for Mio to return. Thankfully, the elder brought us to somewhere private where Machiko could tend to Maiko without the crowds of villagers looking on in contempt. How many times am I going to have to say, I am sorry, I froze, okay. I've panicked. Your sword technique is stronger than my Naginata. What was I even going to achieve? That is unacceptable. I will reprimand. What are those creatures doing here? Hayate-sama, this is highly irregular. She's highly irregular. Shh, Maiko-chan. Excuse me. They are our guests. Tsukino Dono. You shall treat them with the respect they deserve. Now take a seat and listen to their tale. That's in order. Yes, Hayate-sama. First and foremost, let me express my gratitude for helping save this village. While Tsukino Dono's brave attempt to stop the spirit allowed us to prevent the damage from expanding, I dread to think of the fate that would have awaited her should the spirit have been allowed to have her way with one of our villagers. Therefore, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for saving Tsukino Dono and the village Takahiro-kun and Kitsune-san. No problem, Tsuchan told us to do it. And besides, Sakura's stupid smelly meaty pants. Oh. So they don't like Sakura, the slime girl, or they don't like any of the sisters that are slime girls, obviously, as it was explained by Tsuyuri or whatever her name is. Your gratitude is accepted humbly, elder son. Narumi-chan, Tsukino Dono. Thank you, Maiko-chan, Machiko-san. You really helped us out in a pinch there. You've got more guts than me. That girl had me terrified. Have you not considered that they are still working with that monster? And this is all just a ruse to sneak into the village and steal what little resources we have left? The man sighed for a moment before his gaze sharpened at Mio, his tone surprisingly stern compared to how he had been talking. So harsh was his voice that the warrior woman visibly flinched. Mio, you seem to be underestimating the power of the spirits. If those three had joined forces with that spirit, there would have possibly been no village left to defend. The man sighed deeply and shook his head while he explained further. Be grateful not all spirits are against us. If that was the case, we would have no chance. Do I need to remind you why we can barely stand our ground against them when on our own? Should they collaborate, all would be lost. Hayato-san, you must understand my situation. I cannot simply play pretend like I am friends with the spirits, not after everything that has been done to us. But, for now, I will at least remain silent on the matter. There is more at stake here than my personal feud. Know this, Kitsune. If I find either of you doing anything untoward, I will personally test whether my sword goes through you just as effectively as it went through the monster. There shall be no such deed within this house. Now, Takahiro-kun, you mentioned you wanted to tell us something. Could it be related to the younger one of your companions' comment? I find it curious to hear her mention the name of an elder spirit like Tsuyuri. Yes, in fact, what I'm about to tell is something I learned directly from her. You mean, you met her in person? I nodded my head firmly while I started speaking. There is a reason behind the fact that the spirits have such a peculiar behavior towards humans. Doesn't it strike you as odd that there are only spirits in this particular area? It is true that there has been no spirit sightings to be found outside this region, but what does that have to do with us? It has something to do with this region rather than the people living inside it. You see, the spirits that have been troubling you, they aren't of this world. You mean to say? Taka-kun, what are you saying? We are spirits, but surely we are still of this world. One-sama, what does this mean? Tsuyuri told me you two would likely not remember it, because you were akin to human children at that time. However, it's a fact that the spirits have a world of their own, and an accident has caused both worlds to merge temporarily with each other. It is the same reason why Tsuyuri is the only elder spirit among you. Then wouldn't it make more sense if there were actually more spirits around you? Not exactly. The rift between both worlds was sealed quickly, but not before a few spirits were trapped here. Machiko-chan, Maiko-chan, and the 4 spirits were those that were unfortunate enough to be separated from their kin. However, I believe Tsuyuri willingly crossed into this realm to watch over them. Machiko-chan, Maiko-chan, you two remember being raised by Tsuyuri for a while, right? Ah, that's private. Tsu-chan took care of both of us. Took care of us for a little while. Gosh, excuse me. But then one day she took us to the mansion and sort of just left us. Now we can only visit her when she wants us to. Then what about the 4 other spirits? Despite being a powerful spirit, Tsuyuri has to act according to certain limitations. As a result, she was unable to reach the 4 other spirits and was forced to leave Machiko and Maiko behind once they were old enough to fend for themselves. I do not know what to say. I need a minute. Might I use another room to compose myself? I'll show you. I can take you somewhere and look over you to make sure you don't do anything fiendish and all that. Come on, I wonder what she's supposed to. What? Machiko-san, this way. When Machiko and Narumi left the room, I sighed softly and turned my focus back onto the conversation. Now, about the panty theft. Ah, right. The kitsune seemed rather adamant about obtaining the underwear of our guards at all costs. What purpose did that hold? Surely those girls have undergarments of their own. It was a simple mistake. The spill said it needed maiden's silk. How was I supposed to know that means something rather than silky things a girl wears? It was an innocent mistake, of course. A kitsune wouldn't know that maiden's silk is another term us humans use for a wedding sash. Innocent, my rear. If they really thought that, they could have just used their own. Yeah, that's where you're wrong. One-sama and me don't have any. You too? I think we should quickly change the subject. Yes, we should. So, awkward. So going on, Tsuyuri has suggested that we find a way to help the village. It might go some way to mend the problems with the spirits, and might grant them enough favor within the village for the sash. But for what purpose would they have needed such an item? Ooh, silly man. I already said it. I needed it for a spell. Maiko-chan, the village elder isn't a magician, so you can't expect him to understand your intentions. Basically, Maiko-chan has been studying a spell that would allow her to travel to another realm. Why would she desire such a power? Imagine for a moment, Elder-san, you're far away from this village, stuck without a way to return to your beloved ones. To make matters worse, you're in a place foreign to you with beings that are unlike any you have known your entire life. Now, if you had a power that would allow you to go anywhere, where would you go? You're saying that... Yes, while they weren't aware of it, they must have subconsciously felt they were different from you all. They were foreigners in a world that wasn't theirs, and the only thing they desired. To go home. Home. Kinda? I guess. I just wanted to cast a spell to see what it did. Tsuchan told me if I ever felt like that, I should ask her first, but then go with it. So I did. She didn't warn me about anything, so I just thought it was like any other spell. And yet, you seemed persistent in completing it, even if it means getting into troubles with the guard. I think it's a natural thing, Maiko-chan. Whether it's humans or spirits, everyone desires a place they call their own, to be able to be accepted for who they are. Isn't that right, Elder-san? But I'm accepted for who I am here, whenever I'm with you, Takani. I'd certainly feel sad if everyone ended up rejecting me just because of who I am. Surely, not all spirits are good beings, but perhaps we have been too quick at judging them all for being evil beings. You racist. Well, who isn't, right? I mean, everyone has some kind of prejudice, racism. This is a pretty decent like a parallel to some of current world's problems where, you know, prejudice in the form of any kind comes along, and there's no reason to warrant it. Anyways, we're talking about a lighthearted game here, right? Doesn't seem so lighthearted right now. For a moment, I saw the elder's eyes wandering sideways to the room Narumi and Machiko had entered, and his gaze softened. Unfortunately, some of us have suffered quite harshly by the events that unfolded with the spirits, so it will take time for people to come to terms with those feelings, Takahiro-kun. Meanwhile, in a room off to the side of the main room, the guard lieutenant was watching over the older kitsune as she seemed to be in grips of a minor panic attack. No, this can't be right. This can't be true. I'm from this world. This world! I belong here, don't I? Maybe you should sit down or, like, lay back or something? I can get you some pillows if you want, or... No, you could not possibly understand. You cannot know what it is like. To have everything you knew your whole life just pulled out from under you. Completely. Actually, I do. What do you mean? It was a while ago now. I was just a kid, maybe 5 years old. There was an incident with those other spirits. I don't know exactly what happened, but there was a big fire. My parents got trapped inside our house. They never made it out. So yeah, don't tell me I'm not all that. Because I know what it's like to have your whole world shaken. I'm sorry. I did not know. I could not have known. That's almost worse. You should know. You should know exactly what it did to me, how it made me feel. I'm sorry? I do not know what you're talking of. Narumi, was it? Narutan. What? That's what you used to call me, Chi-chan. You used to call me Narutan. We used to play together almost every day. That's how you should know. I was with you when the incident happened, and you didn't even remember? The kitsune collapsed to one knee, clutching at her temple. Oh. I remember the village growing orange, a girl younger than me resembling you. Why could I not remember before? Machiko? My head hurts. I remember you were crying. You were screamed for your parents, and then you were calling out my name as I ran. I had to. The villagers, they wanted to catch spirits, all spirits. They didn't care that we had been playing by the river all day. I couldn't explain it to them. I had to run. I can't believe it, Narutan. I'm so sorry. The kitsune reached towards, touched the guard who pulled backwards instinctively. As she did, the pain seemed to dispel from Kitsune, who looked more relieved and confused about the whole ordeal. No, not yet. I can't just sweep that all away. It ain't so easy. It ain't so easy. But you did stand up to the slime crete. The one you called Sakura. You risked everything for Mio and for the village, and that's worth to me at least giving you a chance. I guess you don't need a to there. I aren't promising. Okay, this is intentional. I aren't promising miracles, cause she barely listens even to me, but I'll try and talk her down. She aren't the cold, heartless captain everyone thinks she is. Thank you. Thank you for giving us a chance, Narutan. I promise Maiko and I will do our best. Perhaps you could tell me more about Why? Why am I coughing? Perhaps you could tell me more about the incident. If I try to remember more, the pain might return. I'd rather not, really. If aren't a happy story. It aren't a happy story. This aren't is kind of annoying me. But if you can do me a favor, I might be more willing to tell ya. I want to get stronger. I couldn't do anything earlier today. I couldn't protect anyone. I aren't got the brains for magic or anything like that, but that Takahiro had some pretty flashy moves before. Get him to teach me some and I'll tell you more. Deal, Chi-chan? I am not too sure. That seems like something of a weighted deal on your end. Perhaps you can sweeten it for me just a little? Always the charmer. Alright, how about this? I'll tell you something about when we were younger, when we used to play in the woods near the village. There's a little stream there that we used to fish in. Sometimes you used to sneak in with me and we'd play pranks on the shops, moving to stock around, knocking on doors and running away. Silly kid stuff. Sometimes you even showed me your magic, your illusion abilities, but you said you didn't like doing it all that much because it made Maiko cry. That's right. When Maiko saw me transform for the first time, she got so scared she ran away from me and nearly hurt herself. How could I have possibly forgotten that? Narutan, thank you for telling me that. I swear I will get Taka-kun to aid you. Thank you. The woman stepped forwards once again, this time wrapping her arms around the surprised guard who did not pull back. The two women embraced lightly, the kitsune shaking lightly as she did so. Hey, come on now, we should probably be getting back. The others likely would be wondering where we've gone to. Forgive me. Forgive my time away. I must admit, I was not expecting such revelations. Taka-kun, have you explained the situation? I believe they understand it all now, albeit it might take a bit of time before the village comes to terms with it. I do believe it will be in our best interests to see for ourselves the true nature of the kitsune. While I can't promise friendships will be forged today, let it be known that from now on, the kitsune are welcome in our village and will be tolerated like any guest would. Thank you, elder son. My sister and I are very grateful for your hospitality. However, just like our villagers, the laws of our kin shall apply to you three also. Takahiro-kun, I believe it will be in your best interest to learn more about the village. Tsukino Dono, Narumi-chan, I'll leave him in your care. And that doesn't mean stuff him in a cell in the prison. You've got it, Oji-san. We'll do our best. What about Maiko-chan and Machiko-san? I'd like them to stay here for a moment. I need to discuss something with the two of the girls about how we deal with the other spirits should they return. Hayate-san, I would like to remain with you for that conversation. It is my duty to protect the town and those within it from any perceived danger. That includes you. I also believe the information will be useful for me to hear firsthand. Of course, I expected nothing less from you, Tsukino Dono. Narumi-chan, how about you take a walk with Takahiro-kun? And don't consider this a date, young man. You're going to need a bit more heroic next time you help the village to get the right date, my granddaughter. Oh, okay. Hayate elders. Granddaughter is Narumi. Cool. The man laughed heartily while I blushed, a weak smile upon my lips when I was seemingly expected to be taken out for a walk with Narumi. Well, at least this time I wouldn't get cuffed and taken to jail, so perhaps it could end up being a pleasant walk. If you know what I mean. Oh, it's raining? What the fuck? Of course, it was not to be. Even the elements seemed against the village today, because barely a minute into the walk, heavens themselves opened and we were soaked through. Letting out a yelp, Narumi grabbed me by the hand. She's a playa, and pulled me towards the nearest awning to shelter from the rain. A rainfall this suddenly. This is just typical. Today's just going from bad to worse. I didn't think the rain would be able to douse your warrior spirit. Pah! Warrior spirit. Yeah, I really had that by the bucketful today, didn't I? You're sounding different from last time we met. I could have sworn you would have shouted, "Ha! If you want to stop the great enemy, you better up your ante, Mother Nature. Send me a tsunami, an earthquake, or a tornado, and you might stand a chance." Yeah, well, that was before I realized what a weak, cowardly person I was. Mother Nature doesn't need all of that to stop me. I'm not great. I'm just a girl who's trying to impress someone they never can. All it takes to stop me is some drizzle. For a moment, I frowned, trying to think of how to respond to the girl. It appeared her inability to stop the slang girl from causing havoc and embarrassing her chief had led Narumi to feel like she had failed somehow. Sorry, I'm adjusting my mic here. Sorry about that. It was at that point I recalled a certain scenario and decided to act. Rather swiftly, I grabbed a hold of Narumi's shoulder while my arm wrapped around her. What? Rather swiftly, I grabbed a hold of Narumi's shoulder while my other arm wrapped around her shoulder, almost looking as if I was about to comfort her, but it was then I decided to use a judo technique, and almost as if I was the hero from some manga about to use a secret technique, I shouted proudly, "What? Hey, stop! Tsuri komikoshi!" That sounded terrible. You know, if it was like Naruto's Kage no Bushi no Jutsu or Rurouni Kenshin's Usui Sen or something like that. That would have been much cooler. Anyways, using the strength I had trained from years of judo practice, I easily spun the girl over my shoulder onto her back into the rainy grass before us. This guy just might know a little more about... Anyways. Spun the girl over my shoulder and onto her back into the rainy grass. My eyes gazed down sharply at her while I repeated the words I recalled from a certain manga. If you let one loss break your spirit, then you're unsuitable for being a warrior. It's because there are stronger people around that you get the motivation to improve. That doesn't prove anything. You took me by surprise. You look like you're going to kiss me. Then you tossed me on my back. I didn't plan to kiss you. And now you've made me forget my heroic speech. Get up and grab your weapon, Narumi. If words don't cheer you up, then let's talk like warriors do, through battle. Wait here. The woman pushed herself upwards and barged past me, stomping into the building, which I only now recognized was the guards' building I had been held in the day previously. I waited under the wooden slats as the rain thudded down onto it, causing it to run down in heavy drips. A few moments later, I heard a loud thudding and through the doors, Narumi burst. Oh my. Boobs. In her hand, she held a naginata, similar to the one she normally used but with a different head, and the moment I got to glance at it before her attack landed, I could see that it was not nearly as sharp as a blade should be. Yeah! It took all my speed to be able to raise my arms and grab a hold of the shaft of the weapon before the attack crushed onto my body, making me quickly push her weapon sideways while I darted forwards. Pushing my hand against her chest with all my force behind it, I attempted to open her posture. Open her what? For a vulnerability for me to expose. That's it. You're not... You're not some sort of weak-willed girl who is going to lose her fighting spirit that easily. Shut up! You don't even know what's bothering me. I'm going to beat the snot out of you. That'll make me feel better. Narumi-chan, didn't you forget one of those most important things about a fight? The woman gritted her teeth and lunged towards me. A wild, angry strike that would have been ridiculously easy to dodge were she not so fast. As it happened, I was just faster than her, but the whoosh of that air shot past me made it clear she was not pulling her punches. I don't care if it aren't important. I couldn't do it. I got scared and I let everyone down. And that's why you failed as a warrior. I could read every emotion behind your text. You're angry at yourself for being unable to stop that spirit, right? Disappointed at yourself for lacking the courage to face them alone. Well, Narumi-chan, you're not some lone hero who has to do everything. I quickly pushed her naginata upwards, a quick slide of my body nearly knocking the weapon out of her hands while I raised hands to flick her forward before her stepping back. This guy sounds like a badass. Did anyone told you that you had to beat the spirit? That spirit? Or rather, why didn't you stop to figure out for a moment that you got friends and companions to deal with an enemy like that alongside you? A hero who fights alone is a hero who dies early. It's why both you and the tsundere girl tyrants weren't able to defeat that spirit when you tried to beat them by yourself. How? How am I supposed to stand by her side when she's so much better than I can ever hope to be? How can I stand against the spirits when all I am is a human with a sharp stick? Mio lost her sword, but she never lost her resolve, but I lost mine as soon as things became dangerous. I'm worthless. The woman snarled as her forehead was flicked, and she lunged forwards again, lashing out with her spare hand, aiming for my temple. I ducked and I slid back, narrowly dodging the swing of her naginata. I noticed that she had switched her stance a little and was choosing a close-ranged attacking style. The only limits we have are those we impose upon ourselves. If she's better than just keeping practice to improve it. If she's better than just keep practicing to improve it. Even I got people who I want to overcome. That's what the wonderful thing with martial arts. Why haven't you tried talking to her like this? Because I can't talk to her. I need to just be strong. She does it without relying on anyone, without bending or yielding. I can't do it. I can't be like her. Is that really the case? Perhaps you merely don't know what the source of her strength is. But in your case, it's just a matter of finding your resolve. Well, there's the problem. I don't have any. I'm just a dumb little girl who needs to be saved all the time. Come on, stop talking like that. Don't you have something you want to protect at all costs? There's nothing at all. Not your family, not your friends, your village. You just turn up for the paycheck. Thank you very much. You're right. There's nothing. I lost it all already. The woman's next attack caught me by surprise. She flung her weapon towards me at full strength, hitting me in the arm, which made me flinch and turned away from me, slipping on the wet grass beneath. She scrambled to her feet before I could react and began running towards the forest. I think that's a good place to call this episode. I will try to record more frequently, more often. I'm not sure if my video views are actually higher because of the fact that this is the title pictures, thumbnails are actually of well-drawn ladies. But I'm hoping this reading and such will also help pronounce my enunciation problem that I've been feeling, and also maybe help with testing out how to edit videos a little better, a little more professionally and such. But once again, thank you so much for checking this video out. If you have any recommendations, feel free to leave a comment. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye.